I was like, I don't want any money
You're a
from
little
the
stubborn.
military. Yeah, I didn't want money from the military because I was mad that they kind of fucked me over, I felt. Because it wasn't fair, because I wasn't suicidal. And they found that out later, but it was too late. And they made a wrong decision. And even the commander apologized to me, but it was too late. So what happened is I had this commander, Commander Vizzelli. He was amazing. My squadron is the 963rd. It's Air Force. They were the Blue Knights. And my commander was Colonel Vizzelli. He was awesome. He was the one that gave me Senior Airman Below the Zone, which means I rank. So Senior Airman Below the Zone means I got to become an E3 Senior Airman 6 months prior to everyone else. They only like one person per squadron gets to have that every year. That you try to, everyone tries to get the Senior Airman Below the Zone. It's like a competition. So I won, and Commander Vizzelli gave me that, and then he also gave me Airman of the Quarter, and he gave me all these other awards for like fitness awards and things. Because I always got like excellence in fitness and stuff, because I'm a very fit person, as you guys see. So I always excelled and got like outstanding in like outstanding in room inspections, and I'd get excellence on any of my exams and evaluations and things. So I was always getting all these awards. So like he knew me really well in the squadron. But then he got promoted to the Pentagon. He works at the Pentagon. Well, I don't know if he does anymore, but he was working at the Pentagon. And when his replacement was this guy named Colonel Ferguson, and he didn't know me, because in the squadron you have like hundreds of people. But he didn't know me. I was just like a name to him. Like he didn't know who I was. Colonel Vizzelli knew me, and he knew my mom died, and he knew the whole story. But Colonel Ferguson didn't know anything. So one day he was flying with me. This is like 3 months after my mom died. And someone told him that my mom had committed suicide. And he's like, well, why is she flying? She shouldn't be flying.
Thank you, Adele.
And so he took me off the flight. But he didn't talk to anyone, and like everyone knew I was fine. But by him taking me off the flight, then I had to be evaluated, because you were taken off for mental health issues. So you have to be evaluated to make sure your mental health stable, which took 2.5 years for them to, they'll have to send you to a specialist, and then they have to retrain you. Because once you're sent to a specialist, you have to then retrain to get your job again. So they said it would take 2.5 years, and he apologized to me, because he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know, but it was too late. Like, he couldn't undo what he did. Like, and so basically I just got fucked over by someone making a rash decision. And I just didn't think that was right. I didn't like that they couldn't undo his thing. Like, it's like, oh, once a commander makes a decision like that, and if it's over mental health, then we have to evaluate to make sure your mental health is okay. Well, that's a whole process. So once they make that decision, like, there's no undoing it. Now has to be, because like, imagine if I committed suicide after they had said you shouldn't fly, and then I did. So they were veering on the side of safety, but it really wasn't fair, because my mom's decision shouldn't have affected my military career.
Exactly.
So it really sucked.
That's really not fair. You got shortchanged on that deal.
Yeah. And so that's why I got out of the military, because I felt that they didn't treat me fairly. Like, it's like, I know my mom committed suicide, but that doesn't mean I'm suicidal. Do you understand? Like, yeah, I'm upset. Yeah, my mom just died, but I was actually doing okay, because the best thing for me was working, like, and just flying. Because when I flew, I didn't have to think about that my mom was dead, because there was so much going on when you're flying. Like, I didn't have to think about my mom at all. It was so therapeutic for me to just be like able to work. So when they took that away, it was really hard. Like,
I don't understand why Richard only reads the negative comments to Joy and doesn't read any of the positive ones. Hey, Jen.
he reads both.
You fail to understand why I don't read them, because there aren't any. There are very few positive comments here. They're mostly negative, because, well, the negatives just don't stop. They have so much hate and energy for Joy, that the love for Joy, that people are just like, I mean, they prefer to stand by the sides, because they don't want to get caught up in all the hate. So, yeah, if there were more positive comments to Joy, I certainly would read them, but most of them are just spiteful. And honestly, I think you can understand why we don't read the comments, and why we don't really trust anyone at this stage, because we've only been here for 2 or 3 months, and every person that we were close to has backstabbed us and has lied to us and has written terrible things about us.
But here's the thing, they were claiming all along that they were here for our family and here for Annette. Even if you get mad at me and Richard, if you're really here for our family and here for Annette, you would not do things to